Hi everyone, welcome to Caapid Simplified. Today I am going to talk about a very important school, which is University of Colorado. Very relevant. A lot of you are applying right now. Some of you would have already applied, some of you would be in the process of applying, and some of you would be planning to apply. They only close their applications next year because they open quite late into the cycle. So we know that different kinds of applicants watch our content on our channel, right? Some of you guys are extremely experienced already, either because you have been following the CAPID process for a long time or you have applied before, so this is not your first cycle. Some of you would be maybe a little aware of what the process is, what do you have to submit, what do you have to keep in mind, but you're here for more information. But the third category of you are completely unaware of what the process is or what it really means to apply to any school through CAPID. And CU could possibly be your first application, because we know a lot of you apply for CU in 2022 and then go on to apply the rest of the schools in 2023. So this video is for mainly the last category of applicants who are not really aware of what to do, or who's probably doing this for the first time and is a little blank on what are the major basic things to cover while applying to a school. And now the school that I'm talking about this time is Colorado. So let's say 5 points that you need to keep in mind if you're going to apply to Colorado. Number one is the TOEFL score. So TOEFL score that Colorado looks for is 94 and above. And what you need to realize is that it is not just a preferred score, it is a mandatory score. It's a mandatory requirement. Now this is where it gets tricky, or not tricky. For a school that asks you for a mandatory requirement of TOEFL, make sure that you do have that score. If you do not have that score, then you'd rather not apply. So it's true that TOEFL is not the major deciding factor when it comes to your application. It's just a standardized test for them to know how well you communicate. However, if a school has really told you that this is the score that we need as a mandatory requirement, then they will not take applications that go below that. But however, if a school uses the word preferred and says that this particular score is preferred in our school, and even if you haven't really reached that or hit that mark, you still have a chance to apply. So keep this in mind for all your schools. As for Colorado, 94 is what you have to keep aiming for and score in order to apply to CU. Number two would be SOP. So SOP, yes, you have your CAPID SOP. Apart from that, you also have a personal statement that is asked for in the supplemental requirements in the program materials of the CAPID portal. Now, especially like I said, the ones who are applying for the first time, be careful to not treat this particular 3,500 character statement as an SOP alone, or as a supplemental question alone. It has to be a mix of both. Now why I say that is because this is a chance for you to appeal to the school directly. So is it a statement talking about your life's goals, aspirations, who are you as a person, what motivates you, what drives you? Yes, this is the place to tell them that. But it is also the place to directly appeal to them with your genuine deep interest to be a part of this university and to be a part of this teaching system. So you need to use this statement to also talk about why Colorado is a match for you and why you are a match for Colorado, which is why this question, this supplemental requirement, really asks for some research to be put in about the school and how you fit into the school. Know that they do call a lot of people, around 120 I think to begin with, and then they bring it down to 40 seats per school, and in between there is a bench, yes, but apart from that they do strictly really bring down the number, and they have filtering parameters. So you really need to get them hooked through this supplemental SOP. Treat them as both SOP as well as supplemental, where you answer the question about your life, your statement, as well as about how you fit into the school. So why CU and why you in CU? Answer these two questions through that statement, weave it in, and it will really make a difference for your application. Do not paste your CAPID SOP as it is. because that is not what the school is looking for. You're being given a chance to write to them directly about why your heart is set on Colorado University of Colorado. So keep that in mind. It's very important, and I cannot stress on this enough. Put in that extra time to craft something different. The third one would be LOR. So for LOR, what you need to remember is that this is a different procedure that happens for Colorado than CAPID. You do not just straightforward upload letters for the Colorado supplemental requirement of LOR. However, remember that how the form works is that you will have, so the recommender will have a first page of qualities where they have to grade you or rate you as per their understanding of you as a person or as a student. So that has, I think it's got around 10 to 20 at least attributes and qualities listed, and they would have to rate whether they agree or whether they don't agree. How close are you to that particular attribute, and how much do you possess of it? And then in the next page or next slide or so, they get an opportunity to write a proper letter or pen something like a paragraph, an essay letter, which is where the actual letter that they've written can be pasted. And then they'll ask you a couple of small questions in, like, say for instance, from when do you know this person? Not ask you, I'm sorry, ask the recommender. From when do you know this person, and how well do you know this person? So if your question or your doubt is, do I have to ask my recommender to write a full-fledged letter? Yes, because it can go in this blank, that is given in the second part of that form. However, is it as straightforward as a CAPID LOR? No, it is not. Just a single upload. They would have to click a link, sign up, and then they would have to rate you and then fill in these blanks where the LOR actually goes in, and then they would have to give a digital signature. So that is how the LOR works. It's unfortunate that you have to go back to your recommenders again to get this done. It is really it can be a tedious process. It can be a very sometimes awkward as well to reach out. However, this is something that you have to do. A small tip here: if any of you all are applying for the first time, just for Colorado, say for example, and you are planning to apply for 2023 cycle as well, which is the coming cycle, it will open in March or April, mostly March. Do give your recommenders a heads up that since this is how the cycle works, I would require you to upload the letters for the 2023 cycle. Just give them a heads up so that you don't have to go back in 3 to 4 months and out of the blue ask them again for a favor. I don't know how much this will help, because they would still probably be, to simply put, irritated or not really welcoming or not really open to doing it. But this is your chance to just give them a heads up and tell them that, hey, this is upcoming and I might have to come back to you for my next cycle. So just educate them about how this works, right? This whole cycle, and how different schools have different requirements, but there is a unified portal so that they're also equipped and expecting this from you, especially the schools especially your recommenders who have not done this for anyone else before, or who's not regularly giving out recommendations for US schools. So that is your LOR. The next one would be CV. CV is quite straightforward. Pretty much the format and all of that, you can follow what you have been following. Just a few things that Colorado expects is you have to give the hours that you have spent for each experience. Another thing would be a maximum of 4 pages is only allowed for your CV. So make sure that you follow that for Colorado. And anyway, a shorter CV is better than a longer one. 4 pages is quite long enough. Stick to that, especially when the school is saying that we don't want a CV that is more than 4 pages. So keep that in mind for your CV. Another thing definitely to speak about would be CASPER, because we never had CASPER for Colorado before, but now Colorado is asking for CASPER test, which is basically a personality-based test. We have a few videos on CASPER. You can find them here. Very brief, but just take a look. And apart from that, just to give you a general information or like a general pointer right now, it's a personality based test where they'll try to understand how would you react to certain scenarios, what are your thought processes like, in which direction do you think while put in a particular scenario, right? That is what they try to judge in this test. There's a small note to make here. In the beginning, when the school opened up their website and CAPID directory and all of that for the application, they did mention that you have to take all the 3 components of the ALTIS assessment suite, which would be CASPER, Snapshot and Duet. However, I think after some confusion and some back and forth, like students reaching out and all of that, they have changed this requirement from all 3 components to just CASPER, which is just one component of ALTIS assessment. So keep that in mind. It makes things easier for all of you, especially for the ones who have already done CASPER for other schools. So this is also a correction rather than update that I wanted to give, because in one of the videos that I put out on our channel before, I did mention 3 components because that was the case, but now that has been altered. So that makes it much easier for you all. Make sure you mark your CASPER dates as soon as you can, because these slots run out. I think the October one is done, right? Yeah, October one is done. So keep checking when you have dates, because this is again a mandatory requirement by CU. My 515 is done, but apart from this, just before we wrap it up, to give you overall, like a holistic point about what Colorado looks for, is you have to keep in mind that this school is looking to know how you are a fit into, how do you fit well into their school. It's true for every university, true that, yes, but Colorado especially historically have multiple times through the CAPID fair, through feedback to students, through students who are already in the school as well, we have heard that they're really looking for someone who fits in. So they're looking for you to prove to them or to talk to them or tell them that I will fit into your school well because of so and so reason, and this is what I will bring to the table, and that also that I am coachable. So you can be someone with a lot of experience, you can be someone with minimal experience, that doesn't matter. They have a mixed demographic. Whatever you have in your hand, you need to project it and you need to position it in a way that you're here to learn no matter what, and you would bring your experiences to your peers, your class, your table, the table. So that is what you need to keep in mind. And one last pointer from my side would be 0.6 if I were to do 6 points, is that early application, definitely welcome, definitely better than the alternative. However, do not worry that you are late and not apply, because we have seen multiple times students who have applied in the last week or say a few days before the cycle, the application closes, and still get called and finally get acceptance into the school. So we know that definitely you applying late will not stand in the way of you not getting into school. So you will still be considered up until the last date of application. Know that for Colorado, and apply even if you're late. However, now this is end of October or say November, right? So now you have the time. So plan for early application, plan for to finish it as soon as you can, of course, but just in case, because of any circumstances, personal circumstances, or for whatever reason you could not really apply, make sure that you still apply, no problem, because they will evaluate every application that reaches them until the last day. Hope this helped you guys, and spread the word, especially to the newcomers or new applicants like yourself. It will be really helpful for you to just find out what are the main 5 or 6 pointers, and then go and do your reading or research on the websites. You will find most of this on the website as well. So go read the website, do some research. Like I said, it really adds to your application and will also help you while you're preparing for your interview, because these personal points from your own research, your own thoughts is what they're looking for even in the interview. So it will be helpful. Good luck and keep at it. You still have time, and just keep your mind where it should be, and also give yourself a break, like I always say. That's important as well. Give yourself a balance. Okay, good luck. Bye bye, until next time.